Welcome to another episode of Mindset Shift. Today we're talking about a word that makes many professionals uncomfortable, a word that's small but powerful. That word is no. If you've ever said yes when you wanted to say no, if you've felt stretched too thin trying to please everyone, or if you've struggled with guilt for setting boundaries, this episode is for you. Because here's the truth. Saying no doesn't make you difficult. It makes you disciplined. And boundaries don't create distance. They create respect. In the next few minutes, we'll explore the mindset, strategies, and language you can use to say no at work, clearly, kindly, and confidently, without feeling guilty or afraid. Let's begin. 1. The real reason we struggle to say no. Let's start with honesty. We often don't say no because we fear what might happen after. We fear being seen as unhelpful, uncooperative, or less committed. We fear disappointing others or missing out on opportunities. We fear that no will close doors. But here's something powerful to remember. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're saying no to something that does. And over time, those small polite yeses to tasks, meetings, or responsibilities that don't belong to you become the reason you feel constantly overwhelmed. You don't just lose time, you lose clarity. So before learning how to say no, we have to understand why it matters. Because saying no isn't rejection, it's protection for your focus, your energy, and your purpose. 2. The mindset shift. Boundaries are not barriers. When you set boundaries, you're not pushing people away. You're defining where you end and where your work begins. Boundaries are how you teach others how to treat you and how you remind yourself that your value doesn't come from being endlessly available. Let's reframe it like this. You're not saying no to the person. You're saying yes to what matters most, to your priorities, to your health, to the work that truly moves you forward. And the truth, protect your boundaries is better because you cause clarity and resentment and exhaustion. 3. Step 1. Get clear on your priorities. You can't say no with confidence if you're not clear on what truly matters. When your priorities are fuzzy, every request feels urgent. So start by grounding yourself in your core responsibilities and goals. Ask yourself, what are the top 3 things that define success for me right now? What tasks or projects have the biggest impact on those goals? What can I realistically take on without sacrificing quality or well-being? When you know what matters most, saying no becomes easier. Because it's not rejection, it's redirection. You're simply aligning your time with your purpose. 4. Step 2. The pause before the answer. Here's a simple but powerful technique. Don't say yes immediately. When someone asks for your help, pause before responding. You can say things like, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." "I'd like to think about how I can best support this. Can I confirm later today?" That pause gives you space to reflect, to evaluate if this aligns with your priorities or not. And even more importantly, it trains others to see your time as something that requires thought, not instant availability. That's leadership energy, calm, considered, and intentional. 5. Step 3. Learn the kind no formula. A kind no is firm but respectful. It's not defensive, it's decisive. Here's a simple 3-step framework you can use. 1. Acknowledge the request. 2. Decline clearly. 3. Offer an alternative, only if appropriate. For example, "I appreciate you thinking of me for this, but I won't be able to take it on right now. However, I'd be happy to review it once my current projects are complete." Or, "That sounds like an important initiative. Unfortunately, my schedule is full this week, so I'll have to pass." Notice something. You don't apologize for having boundaries. You communicate them calmly and professionally. That's how respect is built, through clarity, not guilt. 6. Step 4. Stop over-explaining. When we say no, our instinct is to justify it, to prove that our reason is good enough. But every unnecessary explanation invites negotiation. You don't need to justify your boundaries with an essay. Try this instead. "I don't have the capacity to take that on right now." Or, "That's not something I can commit to at the moment." Short, clear, professional. Remember, a boundary stated with calm confidence rarely needs defense. 7. Step 5. Use yes but strategically. Sometimes you want to help, but not at the cost of your focus. That's where a conditional yes can help. It sounds like this. "Yes, I can help, but I'll need to push this other task to next week." "Yes, but I'll need clarity on priorities before I can commit." This approach sets expectations, and teaches others that your time has structure. It's not about refusing responsibility, it's about managing it wisely. 8. Step 6. Redefine what good professionalism means. Many professionals equate saying yes with being dependable. But dependability isn't about saying yes to everything. It's about honoring what you've already said yes to. True professionalism means protecting your ability to deliver quality work, not just quantity. When you overcommit, you dilute your excellence, and in the long run, that serves no one. So the next time you feel guilty for saying no, remind yourself, you're not rejecting work, you're protecting your ability to do great work. 9. Step 7. Handling pushback gracefully. Sometimes your no will be challenged. That's okay. People are simply adjusting to new boundaries. If someone insists, stay calm and repeat your boundary with kindness and clarity. You can say, I understand this is important, but I won't be able to take it on right now. Or, I'd love to help, but my current priorities don't allow space for this. Is there someone else who might support you? You don't need to argue. You just need to stay consistent, because every time you reinforce your boundaries, you train people to respect them next time. 10. Step 8. The internal work, releasing the guilt. Now, let's talk about the hardest part, the guilt that follows. You say no and immediately wonder if you've let someone down. Here's what's happening. Your brain is wired for belonging. It wants to be liked, approved, and appreciated. But belonging doesn't come from saying yes to everyone. It comes from being authentic, consistent, and respectful, including to yourself. The guilt will fade with practice. The clarity will grow with time. You don't owe everyone access to your energy, especially when that energy is finite. Remember, every time you honor your boundary, you reinforce your self-worth. 11. Step 9. Create a no-script library. This is a practical action you can use immediately. Build a small list of go-to responses for common situations, so you're never caught off guard. Examples. I'm currently at capacity and can't take that on. I'd love to help, but I wouldn't be able to give it the attention it deserves. That's not something I can prioritize right now. Let me finish my current projects before committing to anything new. Having these ready helps you say no smoothly and calmly without scrambling for the right words. 12. Step 10. The bigger picture, saying yes to the right things. Here's the beautiful truth. Every no is also a yes. When you say no to distractions, you say yes to focus. When you say no to burnout, you say yes to balance. When you say no to pleasing everyone, you say yes to respecting yourself. The goal isn't to say no to everything. It's to say yes to the things that matter most. And when your yeses are rooted in clarity and purpose, they carry power. 13. Final reflection. Let's end with this thought. Your worth isn't measured by how much you can take on. It's reflected in how intentionally you choose what to take on. Saying no isn't rejection, it's a declaration that your time, your peace, and your purpose matter. So the next time you feel guilty for saying no, remember this, you're not closing a door, you're choosing the right one to walk through. If this episode helped you reflect on how to set better boundaries at work, hit that like button, subscribe to Mindset Shift for more thoughtful episodes like this, and share this video with someone who could use a reminder that no is not a weakness. It's wisdom. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode of Mindset Shift.